DBZ card strategy here with another local match. We're having Jordan on James. We're going to see something you probably have always imagined, because after the days of Adaptive, you probably imagined that a good orange Retribution Krillin would be pretty effective. And here we are, a pretty, I would say, efficient orange Retribution Krillin build versus a very tried-and-true orange Retribution Vegeta build. So this ought to be a pretty interesting match. A lot of scrapping, a lot of anger raising and lowering, I'd imagine, by the time. The only difference between the two competitors here, I'd say that James has been playing orange for a lot longer, since very early on, in fact. Okay, James wins the roll. He's going to choose to go first. Jordan's going to go ahead and resolve his mastery and go ahead and grab that drill in that first turn. So, pretty neat, I suppose. James doesn't have anything to put into play. He does power up Krillin, his power up step. And then Jordan's going to go for a pretty straightforward early game pick of Crying Drill. And though I would say that James here has a very strong hand, that's not really good to go in on just yet. Get some other stuff in play first. Okay, James is going to remember he should be cutting the deck after the search, after the resolving the mastery. And James is going to go ahead and resolve his orange style mastery, which is kind of important. He's going to grab Possession Drill because that works hand in hand with Krillin's level 1 power if a card gets discarded anywhere. Jordan doesn't like what he sees. He passes Rejuvenate's Heroic Dashing Punch. And James is going to finish resolving Ye Olde Mastery. Remember, he got Possession Drill for that. James is a thorough shuffler. Nothing wrong with that. So Jordan is leading the race, if you will, on drills. He has 2 to James 1. James has some pretty good stuff in his hands. Some real, I would say, control. Okay, yeah, I'd do it too. So he's going to go ahead and declare combat. He's going to say you should always open up with Krillin's power.
Next time a card is discarded,
so you remember this, of course. It is stopped by this particular energy attack, and Jordan raises his anger 2 levels. Not too bad. It's 1 because he has not met all the conditions of the card. You remember the next time a card gets discarded this combat, it is going to trigger Krillin's critical damage effect. Jordan has a chance to respond. He's going to go fire off an Orange Rage. And I don't think James is carrying any energy blocks. Okay, raises anger 2 levels. Oh. Yeah, I was going to say, Jordan, don't you dare cheat yourself out of this anger. Alright. So, James managed to wick off the damage with two life cards. Not too terrible. Okay, he's going to use Shoulder Slam. He's going to lower James' anger to 0. By the way, that is a pretty consistent deck. Oh, look at that. Okay, he's going to go ahead and use Charge Kick. It's going to raise anger 2 levels. He must destroy. Yeah, Jordan forgot. He must destroy a drill. Yeah, I would say he probably has to destroy this one. Okay, James is going to go ahead and stop that with Orange Refocus. There are no drills to target. It, however, does raise anger 2 levels. So now they are even on anger. James, however, is still waiting. Like you said, he could use Possession Drill and crit Jordan's anger back down. So he's always got that in his pocket. And there he goes. He's going to go ahead and Possession Drill. Okay, you must discard 2 cards from his hand. I'd probably get rid of... There you go. I'd say I'd get rid of Blinding Energy move, and I'm not sure what you just grabbed.
Discard 2.
Go and Precise Shot. Okay, Krillin's effect goes off. Okay, so he does raise anger 2 levels with Krillin's level 1 ability, and it crits Jordan's anger down. So far, Jordan would be level 2 already. So it's kind of impressive.
I'll raise my anger 1 to level. Lower yours 2.
Okay, so he does use good old stinking Devastating Blow, another card staple against Orange. It's going to lower his anger 2 levels, banish 2 from his discard pile, raise James' anger 1 level. And James is already level 2. And it looks like, wowzers, good old Jordan was waiting with a pretty decent attack there. Looks like James hasn't actually resolved all the effects of good old Devastating Blow, banishing those style cards from his opponent's discard pile. So So he's going to skip that step, which he shouldn't do. That is a mandatory effect. But anyway, back over to Jordan. Jordan fires off a Gallic gun. Remember, like we said, no endurance, double crits. Sadly, the timing was just a hair off. Jordan should have fired that off 1 turn sooner. Unless James took 2 turns in a row. Or 2 actions. I would have to go back and review that, but I look almost like James took 2 actions.
And now you have no hand anyways. So 4 life, hit, you discard life.
Okay. Jordan takes the damage with very little damage taken. He takes 1 life card. He uses Crying Drill, raises anger 1 level.
You used your master rate. I'll use my master rate.
Okay, and then Jordan activates the Crying Drill, then goes back over to James. James activates the Mastery. James has changed levels this combat, and he is going to go ahead and grab a drill from his deck and place it into play. Okay, Possession Drill re-enters the field, which isn't a bad idea. Be pretty effective.
Because drills still don't remember.
He's just placing the token for those of you who may not know, just to show that he's used Krillin's ability. However, I would say we usually just turn the cards to the side, mostly because it's easier to remember. You know, if it's still laying sideways, then you know exactly what's going on. Okay, so James has resolved the Mastery effect.
Well, actually, no. You still got Vegeta.
Okay, he's going to go ahead and fire Vegeta's energy attack. Jordan needs to go ahead and choose and banish a card from James' discard pile. There are only a handful of cards that really need to leave the game, basically ones that reoccur or that cause you problems later. To me, well, no, I usually go for Orange Furious attack. Okay, James takes the damage, wicking off a little bit with Endurance from Vegeta's level 1 energy. And then remember how drills don't have memory, so even though Possession Drill has been used once this combat, it has now get the opportunity to be used again. There we go. James had used the effective Possession Drill, discarded 2 cards, and fires off an Orange Eruption, raises anger 2 levels, lowers Jordan anger 2 levels. It's amazing. Jordan has done no anger raising, back at James, but has probably lost about 8 anger this one combat.
Did you go in or did I? I think I did too.
Yeah, I'd have to say James initiated combat, because I remember saying specifically that he initiated combat. Okay, it's back to Jordan finally. Jordan gets to go ahead and put Vegeta and Crying Drill back into play.
You played a drill, and then I said no.
Yeah, let's see, what's Jordan carrying there? Is that another Heroic Dashing Punch? Oh, good, he has to put a Visiting the Past into play, and yet another Heroic Dashing Punch. That is a neat card, but I think at this point, no, he probably should save that for his level 3 or level 4. He passes, rejuvenates Heroic Dashing Punch, and goes back over to James. And James is going to go ahead and examine Jordan's discard pile, like we said, which is public knowledge, just so he knows what he could potentially be in for if he should play aggressive and go in on Jordan here in this next combat, which looks like he's got plenty of tools to go in on him and be very aggressive. And Jordan would absolutely have to grab a block or 2 in order to watch out for that level 2 Krillin power, which can disrupt his plans quite a bit. I don't even remember if Jordan has any sort of energy blocks in his discard pile. I want to say he's used 1 or 2.
I just forget if your level 2 makes it where I can't defend stuff. Not a good time.
James weighing it all out. I'd say he's 1 card short of being able to press this advantage quite enough.
Hey, don't really fight. Let's go on.
Okay, James more confident than I am. He's going to go ahead and declare combat. Jordan is going to go ahead and activate Visiting the Past, which is a very good idea given what's going on. And he's going to go ahead and choose, I want to say, an energy block. And he chooses a physical block. That is shocking.
No, you don't. I don't. You don't. Because when you use Visiting, you had only 2 cards in your hand.
Okay, so Jordan's going to go ahead and grab his handful of stuff. He's got plenty of anti-physical, not nearly enough anti-energy. This is going to make it a very frustrating match, or combat for Jordan. Okay, Orange Electricity.
Raise my anger 1.
Okay, it's going to go ahead and raise James' anger 1 level. He's going to go ahead and hit level 3. And this one is going to be a 5 life card energy.
I prevent all damage from your next.
You remember it has a hit. That's going to prevent all damage.
4.
Oh, it's 4 life cards. I don't know what card I'm thinking of with that. So he going to mix off a little bit by banishing good old Furious Attack to go ahead and look off a little bit of the damage. Jordan does activate the Mastery. I probably would have went with Crying Drill or something else to go ahead and get there a little sooner. Okay, and I want to say the Orange Electricity's effect has actually been not nullified, but the timing has been okay. So James does use his Mastery, raising his own anger 2 levels, and then it goes back over to Jordan. Jordan really should concentrate on getting off of this level as absolutely as fast as he can. Now, remember that James has actually changed levels this combat, so you can pull out a card to go ahead and advance level. Go ahead and pull out a drill with the Mastery's effect. He does get Captivity Drill, which is a pretty wise choice. You want to be able to keep that assault going. Okay, Jordan responds by firing off good old Enrage Blast, leveling up to level 2. Okay, we have 5 life cards, so Jordan's finally level 2, which is very good. And he forgot that. Oh, darn it! Crying Drill's not shuffled in. Oh, he leveled up through regular anger. The Mastery's not factoring in. I guess it would be discarded. Darn it! Sorry, folks. Jordan there forgot which effect was which. Okay. So James is going to go ahead and fire back with another Orange Electricity, raise the anger 1 level. Okay, another 4 life energy attack. Not terribly huge, thank goodness. So James is going to go ahead and take it with James. Jordan's going to take it with 3 life cards of damage, banishing a little bit. Okay.
I prevent all damage from it, but it's no hits, so you get to search your discard pile for a drill.
Nice. So he's going to go ahead and throw this particular physical attack. Remember, damage is prevented. It doesn't do any damage, but it still gets the hit effect. And Jordan gets a target, a drill, his discard pile, put it into play.
Krillin for 2 stages. It's going to be 9 minus 3, so it'll be 6 life. Right to the test. Wait.
Yeah, James, you might want to just take that back. That's a steady drill. That's a drill. That's an energy block drill. Oh, I guess he wants to fire it anyway.
And it's a energy.
Okay, and it's stopped by Jordan's drill.
I already hit you with an energy attack this turn.
Oh, the timing is such. I forgot that one names the first energy attack. So 6 life cards, which is pretty tough. And Endurance is just not making an appearance. Okay, for those who are maybe wondering, saying, man, Jordan shuffled in that Crying Drill. Well, it's in the discard pile anyway. Got damaged out. Jordan uses good old Vegeta's level 2 power, gains 1 anger.
But pretty sure they kept going, right? So, the one thing we forgot, and we need to remember, when you got to level 2, you're supposed to pass.
Yeah, Jordan forgot about that. Remember, one of the keys of Orange Style Vegeta is he pressures you with ending combat a lot by forcing you to pass in your next action on many of his levels. So that's an interesting little thing that if you don't keep track of it, it will ruin your day.
We can't really go back to it. So,
okay, so now we're back over to here. I guess James has one more action in his hand. So he gets to raise anger 1 level.
No, because see, if you have
It names the first. So I'm not entirely sure why Jordan grabbed a physical block in the middle of all that. It's like Krillin decks aren't known for that, but it's it's a mistake that it's easy to make. Okay, and wow, James managed to level to level 4. Because, of course, good old Captivity Drill's in play, and all his energy attacks are going to give him that 1 anger. And that combat is going to go ahead and end. Wow. And is definitely Jordan's turn because he did burn the Visiting the Past during that combat. So Jordan here is going to go ahead and open up. He has lots of material to work with at this point. He got both drills out there for blocking. Not a bad choice whatsoever. He is going to go ahead and pass, and he's going to go ahead and rejuvenate Shoulder Slam. Again, another staple card for orange decks and anti-orange decks. Okay, it's going to go back over to James. James, who gets a pretty decent passing hand. Looks like he's got a drill to put into play. Got an aura drill. Okay, he's going to go and pass and rejuvenate, and he is level 4. We said his first attack can be used twice, which is really rough. Jordan should tread real easy on this one. Okay, he's going to go ahead and pass and rejuvenate. There we go. And now it's James' action again. Okay, investigation drill has entered the field. There are no attached cards, so it has no targets. But that's going to make it very difficult if you want to play an anti-anger game against orange. See, James there has a pretty excellent offensive hand, but with no defense, he risks taking too much damage. He is going to go ahead and pass and rejuvenate. Looks like he held on to a orange eruption. Staple card. Remember I said you've yet to see an orange match where all 3 orange eruptions were not fired during the course of it. Oh, and Jordan's going to go to open up this combo, throwing a wall breaker. It's going to hit for a very small amount of damage. Probably C, I guess.
Sorry, E to my E, so it'll be 1, so it'll be 2 stages.
2 stages of damage, not too bad.
Oh, thank goodness. Destructive Disc for 6.
And
cannot be stopped. Yeah, right.
So, Destructo Disc cannot be stopped. It can be minused, but it can't be stopped. So it's an unstoppable, unpreventable 6 life. And just coincidentally, a Destructo Disc found its way to James' hand late game with the Aura Drill, and he does end up banishing good old Wall Breaker. Well, that's true. James didn't have a lot of tools to deal with it, not as such, without an unstoppable attack. Okay, Jordan responds with using the Mastery.
You can't stop my first styled attack each turn with my level 4 ability. So
nice.
2 life.
So he's going to go ahead and throw Orange Eruption. It raises James' anger 2 levels, lowers Jordan's anger 2 levels. 4 life total.
You can't prevent this. You can't prevent this.
He does have regular endurance, so it's going to go ahead and use a little bit of endurance to go ahead and
gain 3 stages. Oh, raise my anger 1, and then gain 3 stages. 7, 8.
Okay, he's going to go ahead and right blast. It's going to raise Jordan's anger 2 levels, and it's going to go ahead and hit. And those, of course, big endurance orange style ones are going to be pretty impressive. Okay, Jordan's going to go ahead and check out his banish zone for a drill to see if there's anything to get. And unfortunately, it is too little too late. Mastery, 5 anger, James does take it. With an easy MPPV, Jordan losing somewhere between 15 and 20 anger during the course of the game. I gotta admit, the luck was on Krillin's side today.